Waikiki, I think at the Marriott. So that was, I think, our very first one of the year, actually, since COVID. Yeah, so we haven't done really anything since then, but yeah, that's what's happening. And he will be attending the training this Saturday, right? The grants management training. Yeah, so we have a PE. Let's see. I know I saw something going around. I wasn't able to look at the email, but Kelly was sending a joint event email. I should actually look it up, and hoping to get more people to participate. Other than that, I don't have, we had a meeting earlier in the month, and everything seems they're getting better. What is that? Their grants account. I'm not sure if everyone's gotten their statement to you. So I don't know who. I mean, I followed up, but I'm not sure who else still didn't send it in. Yeah.
Okay, we'll update that list for you guys and send it out to you. But for HRYF, we're pretty much good on all of that. And thanks, Jamie,
Okay.
your group and Maui, we're really good on getting everything in on time. So thank you. So you know that Aloha Harvest, they're really getting around to do different projects with clubs. So even for Scott, the Ala Moana Club did the one at the school where Aloha Harvest actually provided all of the food, right, Scott?
Yeah, no, it's going to be really great. It's going to be on Halloween, actually. So, but yeah, they've actually shouldered quite a bit of it, which is really awesome. So if anybody wants to get connected with them, I know that Marianne and Alani Piet at our place have been talking to them quite a bit. So they seem pretty eager to do some things with Rotary as a whole, which has been awesome.
Well, Scott, you want to talk about your other clubs?
Sure. So we've got as you just mentioned, we've got at Ala Moana something going with Aloha Harvest. So we're excited about that. Peely and the Eco Rotary Club are really working hard to get clubs involved in the tree planting project. So the kickoff for that is on November 28th on Saturday. And they've got, I think, 12 Saturdays consecutive thereafter that she's really desperately trying to fill those holes. So please keep that in mind and let your presidents know. But that's their big project that they're going to be doing for, that's Rotary Gives Thanks Day, right? The 28th of November. So they've been busy doing that. And I know that Honolulu has been wrapping up Centennial Park, which has been their big project. And then for Waikiki, I know they've been doing a few dictionary things and so forth, but I've got to get caught up with Paul over there. So, and we're going to probably do a president's meeting sometime next week. So, I don't know, am I missing anything? I apologize. I got in here a little late, so I wasn't sure what we were kind of overviewing.
Hey, you know, the Eco Club, they already planted 350 trees. So they've been going during the weekends in groups of 5. So they wanted to make sure that they could get started in case, you know, it rained or anything. But the goal was to get 5,000 trees at Gunstock. So really good project. So speaking of trees, Mariko, how are you doing on the trees on Maui?
Okay, so there have been some changes in from farms-oriented tree planting to individual households, churches, schools, and homeless shelters, and so on. Uncle George Kafumoku is still involved as a technical advisor, and we have partnered with something called Ohana Gardens, which is a nonprofit to promote planting of food-bearing trees around the island. So we are partnering with them to plant our target is between 500 and 1,000 food-bearing trees. So avocados, papayas, and mangoes, and so on. And so the Ohana Gardens will procure the trees in different ways. And we are, the Rotary clubs tasked to find these households and other places in which are interested in planting these trees, in between 1 to 10 trees in each place. It could be bigger. And we will start the planting on November 28th, and it will go through January. And so it will be like branded as a giving trees. So people can donate trees, give trees for Christmas to your loved ones, and then we will do the fundraising as well, because we will need some extra funds apart from what the clubs has allocated from the DDF. So we will be doing a big campaign, and to reach out to those people who come to Maui on holidays, or not just the residents here, but people who love Maui, and then we are doing this for the island. So that's the tree planting on Maui.
What about your other clubs? So Valley Isle decided that they wanted to be an EAT club, so they're starting up their meetings. And then Lanai, they're really gung-ho on trying to get the Interact going right on Lanai. So that, what's that guy's name?
Dylan Bode.
Yeah, he sounds like, he's really enthusiastic about that. So what about your other clubs? How are they doing?
My clubs?
Yeah, Lahaina.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so since Kwanzaa is not here either, I can talk about more Maui island-wide project apart from tree planting. Tree planting is really a Maui-wide, 10 clubs are involved. And then the other one that we just started to get involved is this mask monitoring. I think it was introduced by Benson from the Big Island. I think the South Hilo is involved. Mm-hmm. So we are helping the University of Hawaii Manoa nursing program to monitor the mask wearing status in different parts of Maui, because they really don't have enough monitoring volunteers. So we'll be starting it maybe in a week or so in different locations. So all the Maui clubs will be involved with that project. And as for the individual project, my club, Lahaina Sunset, just held a candidates forum for the 2 candidates for the election coming up, the county council election, to come and then discuss their priorities and so on. It was well attended by about 45 people on Zoom. And so that was an interesting project. And then many memberships, well, a lot of clubs, maybe about half of Maui 10 clubs increasing the membership. I haven't actually looked at the exact numbers, but many of them are really on a great track of increasing the membership. And then for the fundraising, few interesting ones are coming up. Oktoberfest by Lahaina Sunrise, and which is in the district website. And a few others are planning different things around Thanksgiving and Halloween and Thanksgiving. That's about it.
Thanks. Okay, who wants to go next? Doug?
I was going to say that Dick wanted to go next, but I'll go. So the membership piece, I actually am pretty pleased. Since the beginning of the year, all clubs have actually brought somebody in, or they have folks to bring in, and so that's actually been pretty good. As far as the clubs go, well, as far as the community service piece goes, just like Mariko was saying, both South Hilo, Hilo Bay, Hilo Club, and at some point Volcano Club will be involved, and actually Pahoa Sunset as well, have had folks that have been supporting the weekend, the Saturday program where they count masks at various places around the Hilo area, and they are trying to start also observation up in Waimea too. So so that's still going, and they're going to do that through the end of the year, I believe is the timeline on each Saturday morning. And so that's actually been, as our clubs have been looking for community service projects, but also trying to keep club members safe, this has proven to be one of those good service projects that where you can get both of those things at the same time. I would point out that I have begun to, in a couple cases, a little bit of president burnout. And so keeping an eye on that. And fortunately, our clubs are aware of that as well. The members are aware of that. And so that has been something that, we want to keep their morale up, if you will. I think in particular, folks that are, most everybody, all the clubs, all the Hilo clubs are still meeting virtually. The smaller clubs in Pahoa and in Volcano have the opportunity to meet in a hybrid situation. And so the opportunity to gather in the small numbers that they have has actually been helpful for them. And both of those clubs do road cleanup. And so they also have the opportunity to do that on a monthly basis, and that gets them out and about as well. And so it's the Hilo clubs we kind of watch out for, making sure that that they are able to do the things that they want to do in terms of service, and while we're still doing these Zoom meetings. So folks, we're continuing to try and monitor that and pay attention to that. The fundraising thing that is going to start tomorrow, I think, right? 16 to 26, that Mary Bergier out of Hilo Bay has been helping Honcho. Everybody's been excited about that in terms of identifying the items, and so looking forward to seeing how that kind of goes, at least for our clubs as well. Let's see. So as far as projects are going, Hilo Bay is working on continuing to work on the Veterans Home project. As you know, we had quite the outbreak for about a month or so at our state Veterans Home here. Hilo Bay has been participating with the activities director there to provide items for the residents that are there. Plus they'll be doing some type of drive-by along with other civic organizations on Veterans Day. So that we're excited about that. Pahoa Sunset's working with their auction baskets, and also helping decorate. The Hilo Club does, 100 of something because of their 100 years celebration. So they've got bags that they're preparing for the Boys and Girls Club, and also for some of our homeless. And Pahoa Sunset's helping because they're helping with the decorating of those bags this coming month. So that's pretty cool. Talking about Volcano, they've been involved in food distribution, and also they've been working with a speaker in Tempe, Arizona. Every year they do that sends them books that they then distribute to the K to 6, 3 of the schools in the area, K to 6. And so they're going to do that again this year. They just have to work out how the distribution is going to work. And then I think I sent to you and Sonia as well. Our South Hilo president sent a couple of surveys, wellness surveys primarily, just trying to get a handle on where the members are. And so that those surveys looked pretty good to me. They looked pretty good to the other East Hawaii presidents. So we shared them with them, and to the extent that they may be useful across the district, I shared them with you as well. And then finally, Hilo has been collecting cans of Spam. They've got masks that they've collected. They were going for 100 masks, but they got a lot more than that. And they're also now doing glam bags that I just mentioned that Pahoa Sunset's helping with them about. So everybody's doing something. They're all kind of busy. They're all doing the membership piece. I would remark that there was a social event that one of our members out of the, I think, Hilo Club held up at our Volcano Winery that's ongoing right now. I had to bow out because I was having a meeting today having to do with the DG. But they're looking forward to having a good turnout there and hopefully having a good time. And it was designed not just for one club, but for any of the folks in the East Hawaii Club. So I was excited to hear about that, and we'll see how that all went. Thanks.
That's at the winery, Volcano Winery?
Up there at Volcano Winery. Yep.
Oh, awesome.
They're able to handle about 20 folks up there. So that it was going to be a small number, but my understanding is that they were going to be filled up. So that was a good thing. And just in case anybody's wondering, we have gorgeous weather in Hilo today.
Good, good. Because we got your rain on this side. But Volcano Winery, she used to be a member, right? So I think she was talking to Nancy about trying to do some virtual wine tasting. So that'd be fun. Okay, who's next? We gotta move on. So, Rich, Ted, anybody? Ted, go ahead.
I can go.
Yep.
Hanalei Bay Club has been very active in food distribution on the North Shore of Kauai. They've been doing a weekly food distribution, and they also used their district/Rotary grant money to fund the North Shore Food Pantry. They're very active in promoting the tree planting project that's going to happen at the end of this month at Makawehi Cave. And other clubs are being invited to that. I expect we're going to have some Poipu Beach volunteers and maybe some of the other clubs as well. They also have an ongoing program they have done with Aloha workbooks that they've supplied to the North Shore schools. And Joy Bromst is their youth services director this year. And she has been very effective at being a little bit pushy all around the island to find additional sponsors to supply those Aloha workbooks to elementary students all around our island. And the Poipu Beach Club collaborated with her to sponsor all of the third graders at Kalaheo Elementary School. So that's workbooks as well as kind of a program about Aloha, which is particularly important as kids are doing distance learning and dealing with all of this COVID-19 stuff. They're also very active in polio fundraising with their spare change for polio. They're continuing that they do every year, as well as a bunch of their members have set up challenges. Like, I will swim so many laps if you will sponsor me, or I will run so many miles if you sponsor me. And they've been sharing that back and forth with each other in their mobile app to raise funds for polio. And they've also reached out to me for some assistance about a social media campaign and updating their website. They want to do some more social media outreach in the community, and they're looking at ways that they can be more diverse and more reflective in their membership of the community. But even while they're doing that, they have added some new members and they have some new prospects. So they're moving forward. They're meeting on Zoom every week, except for the fourth week of the month when they have a Zoom Pauhana. The Kauai Club has been active with the Traditional Dictionaries Project, and they're having hybrid meetings where they meet in person. They have tables that are People are spaced out 6 feet apart. And then they have a Zoom connection for people to join remotely to those meetings. And they have a big screen TV. Their venue is the Nowili Wili Yacht Club, so it's partially outdoors as well. The Kapa'a Club's also been working on dictionaries. They're struggling a little bit around fundraising because they do the annual Taste of Hawai'i fundraiser that had to be canceled this year. And so they're a little bit in a quandary of what can they do instead, as many of us are, of how can we do alternative fundraisers that involve smaller groups of people rather than the big events that we used to put on our island. The West Kauai Club had stopped meeting during our initial shutdown and keeping in touch through text messages and emails and doing some community assistance that way. They're also working on dictionaries, and they were at the point that they were ready to try to get back together and have a socially distanced meeting. The Poipu Beach Club just inducted a new member yesterday who came to us as a lead through Facebook. We have another membership lead through Instagram, and we have 2 or 3 other membership leads in the pipeline. As I mentioned, we sponsored the Aloha books to 100 third graders at Kalaheo Elementary School. There's also a work project this weekend at Habitat for Humanity, helping with a build of a house for a family that one of our members has a work connection with. And so we have 2 teams that are going to help at Habitat this weekend. We also have volunteers going to tree planting at the end of this month. And the Poipu Beach Club also annually hosts a big event called One Fine Evening that's centered around wine tasting. That also was canceled this spring. A big part of that fundraiser is a large silent auction that usually has about 200 items. So there's been a committee looking at how to put some of those items online, and the committee is moving forward that they're hoping to do that next month to have the items that can be sold online done. So most of the clubs are still keeping as active as possible, and everybody's adapting to what do we need to do differently for fundraising and for meetings and pauhanas with masks and social distancing and all of those things. And your AG, just to put in a plug in the background, has been also involved in the board of the newest official fellowship of Rotary International. The Rotary Fellowship of Gin was approved just a few days ago.
Cool.
Yeah, congratulations. Oh, okay. So, you should have told us so we can all get our gin and toast to you today. Congratulations. But good job. So let's see. Anybody? Dick? Mark? Kathleen? Wes?
I'll go.
Okay.
Oh, you want to go, Dick?
Then I'll
Age
go.
before beauty?
Yes, and I go.
Hey, Dick. Go ahead, Dick.
You want me to go first?
Yep.
Okay.
Because
Well,
Wes muted himself.
Our clubs out on the west side are all meeting regularly. At present, they're meeting virtually, although as soon as next week, at least one of the clubs, Eva Beach, will be meeting on location, but we will continue to have a Zoom virtual component. What we're seeming to find with some of the clubs as we consider the reopening is we're going to have some people who are going to be reluctant initially to meet in an indoor setting. So we need to make sure that we have a way to accommodate those who are just not comfortable at this point. Obviously, much will depend upon, the COVID statistics and what the mayor decides in terms of the stages of opening. But I think we're about to get there. And that will have an impact to us because we've got a couple of folks, for example, I'm working with two people in potential members of our we would like to, if we can in the near future, to actually do that at a meeting where they can actually meet and greet everyone. But we'll see where that goes. The other initiative that we're trying to work vis-a-vis membership is to reach out to those who were members of our clubs on the West Side and have drifted away, not because of a lack of interest, but because they moved to another part of the island or their job changed, the hours are different or something else. They've never lost their interest in Rotary. It didn't meet the schedule anymore. So working with them to say, how can we have you join us if we have a virtual component and work some way that we can bring them back? And I think that will be significant because we've got some good talents that we have lost that we're going to pursue there. In terms of community programs, all are working those. And obviously a lot of those are related to food distribution programs, food bank, U.S. vets, meals for the women in the Child and Family Services facility and so forth. And all of those now have to be done as delivered meals rather than meals that we can go up and prepare and cook on location. So that's changed what we've done a little bit. The big feeding for the U.S. vets is going to be on November 21st. And then Sonia and I have been working with the folks at the Pacific Gateway Center. Probably we'll have a day or two after that when we can arrange for meals that we will, and those we may cook and prepare and bring to location, but meals that we can prepare for the farmers who are up there at the Kunia facility, plus some support for the facility down in Kalihi. So those efforts are ongoing. Fundraisers for other purposes are ongoing as well. Polio Plus obviously will be a major focus, and I think all of the clubs have been working to get auction items in and did as far as I know, get them all in by the deadline, which we kind of shunted over to Sunday morning, I think, but I think we met that. I would mention that the West Pearl Harbor Club has had a pretty innovative idea and they partnered with a restaurant in Waipahu for tickets. I bought a bunch and we're using those for various folks to acquaint them both with Rotary and to raise some money for Polio Plus. Rotary Club of Kapolei in October each year has done their Games with a Purpose, which was intended to be the primary fundraiser for scholarships. That had to be canceled because of concerns with the school and with COVID and a large assembly of people. So instead, the club came up with the Step It Up for Scholarships, a virtual 5K. I think we still have 1 or 2 donations from businesses that'll come in, but at present, we just closed that campaign today, and it looks like we made about $4,000 for scholarships. And several of us are going to meet on the 30th of this month to interview the scholarship candidates. We have some good ones, so be able to make a difference there. Tree planting, everybody's involved. The Waianae Club is actually doing a community tree planting themselves. The others are all working with the Eco Club to do tree plantings up at the Gunstock Ranch. We mentioned starting early. I talked to Peely. In fact, Peely and I are doing a presentation to the Eva Beach Club immediately after this meeting on the tree planting. But the clubs have lined up with their tree planting ambassadors to get scheduled dates. The 28th, obviously, rather than a mass planting, basically became a planting that was filled by other clubs. But they've had to start early because some of these Milo trees have been getting pretty big and needed to go in the ground pretty soon. So it'll be over a little more protracted period, but it's going to be a great initiative. And I think that's most of what we've got. I did want to offer some applause, though. I thought I attended the presentation on polio that Rich Corson led this past weekend. I think that was the best organized lesson on polio, where it came from, where we need to go, and why it's important that I've ever seen in the years I've been in Rotary. And I think it's important for us to do that because I think with polio and the plus in that with Polio Plus, that's really our signature. That's what we're known for. We do so many good things and we do them so conscientiously, but I think that's the big thing. And I think for us as Rotary, figuring out what the plus is, what the next big thing that we're going to conquer is going to help us in recruitment. Thanks.
Thank you. And that's a really good idea to reach out to former members and people who live in your area, but good job, Jake. Thank you. Okay, Mark, you want to go?
Sure. Talking about the downtown clubs, they've been having good attendance at their meetings and they're pretty happy about that. They're a little bit worried about Zoom burnout, but they've been able to maintain solid attendance at their meetings. They are struggling with trying to have committee meetings and to try to keep, the lower level of the club engaged and involved in the different committees that it takes to operate the club. So they're all struggling a little bit with that. They're working on the tree planting. That seems to be the common interest because it's so flexible with small groups going up at different times. But other than that, they haven't come up with solid service projects out in the community outside of food distribution and bringing in clothes and supplies to the youth residential facilities and things like that. They're all talking and continuing to be on Zoom and don't anticipate any changes from that. A couple clubs have brought in new members, and I think that's a solid, they're excited about new members coming into their clubs. They seem to be pretty happy with what's going on. They're attending the trainings as they can. I think I need to encourage those clubs to get down to a lower level to attend the trainings and not just anticipate the president to be at everything, but to get down to the community service directors and the secretaries to go to some of those Zoom trainings because they are so beneficial. So we're trying to work the plan.
Yeah. So if the Zoom trainings, if your president cannot make it, they should really encourage the president-elect or some of the other people to go. So Derek is getting Nate more involved in, Nate the PE, more involved in some of the Zooms because Derek is really busy at work. Okay, sorry, Wes, I passed you by, Wes.
I could have waited to be the last one, but it's okay. I got food this month. Normally our president's meeting is on the third Wednesday, thinking it'll be the Wednesday before the third Thursday AG's meeting. But the calendar fooled me this month because the third Thursday is coming before the third Wednesday. So I meet with all my presidents next week. But anyway, a brief update of what we're doing. Of course, everybody's working on the dictionary projects because dictionaries are big out in our area. A lot of the clubs are doing little types of things. Things like providing frontline healthcare providers ear savers. And those of you that don't wear masks all day long, ear savers are little strips that have buttons that you clip your mask to the buttons so it saves your ears. So that's important to the medical staff and people in healthcare that are required to wear their mask all day. So donations of ear savers to hospitals have happened. Donations of PPE and school supplies to the schools have been happening. Aside from little projects like that, I believe everybody signed up for the tree planting. We all have our Saturday dates, et cetera, In terms of membership, a few clubs have actually been able to get new members. A few of the clubs have lost members, so we're probably going to break even as a total. Let's see what else. My club has embarked on another gimmick that we have, trying to round up some youths in our community. And we're offering college application essay critiques and mock scholarship interview practices for the kids of IAEA and Pro City High School. We're not sure how the turnout is yet. We just put the offer out on the table. Hopefully by next week, some of the kids will contact us that are interested in getting good college applications and getting themselves ready for scholarship interviews. Of course, that's my gimmick to try to round up community kids to get them into a community interact club, but it's going to work. And the other fun thing that all of my clubs are doing, I gave them a core, I guess, support your restaurant contest, where the club that has the most meals, takeout, dine in per capita, I will cook them a salmon influence breakfast or lunch or dinner. So I have my money on the Mililani Club because every member in the Mililani Club is participating. Some of the larger clubs, of course, there's some dead weight in the clubs, are not participating. So when you do the math, the denominator is going to hold them back. So this is going to end at the end of November. So I'm getting ready to thaw out some salmon for the winter. But for anything else in the Central Oahu area, we're not doing anything big. We're just all surviving. Everybody's still meeting virtually. I believe Mililani is going to have a special breakfast to celebrate their victory. And I promised them a salmon chazuke ikura breakfast.
Okay, so we're coming. What day is that?
You're invited, Naomi, of course.
Thank you. Okay, Kathleen, the best for the last.
Oh, that's so nice. Now I'm going to get really nervous about my report. But aloha, everybody. Good to see you all. Well, you know, our theme, I think, on the Windward and Hawaii Kai side is probably back to the basics. I think that the clubs are really focusing on trying to take care of their members. I just recently had the president's meeting on Monday, so I'm still kind of riding high from that because it went really well. But what was interesting to me is that there wasn't a strict agenda. It was people needed to kind of share some stories about how they were concerned about some of the Rotarians and how they were going out and seeing them. And they were reminding us that Rotary is service above self, but probably service for ourselves right now during these difficult times. And I was really impressed by the compassion that some of them were talking about expressing, because they are genuinely concerned that I think that some of this Zooming, I mean, we look all very comfortable, you know, where I'm kind of talking as though you're right, you know, like here, we're having a meeting and I'm in my house, but there are a number of people that are just not relating to the computer, maybe don't even relate to email very well. And so a lot of people were talking about how they need to call people more and are afraid of losing them as Rotarians. So the theme kind of was how to take care of each other and keep members. And then of course, what do you do to be attractive to brand new members? And so some of the things that we discussed is community service projects does seem to bring people in, you know, kind of as does giving somebody a job, you know, giving somebody a task to look forward to. So some of the organizations that people are connecting with, and these are clubs, so the 3 clubs that are really tight with each other, well, there's 2 that are very close, like to share projects. So we were talking about Salvation Army is a natural fit because, you know, they do everything from passing out food to like an angel tree at Windward Mall to, I can't think of, there's well, some events that they're involved with are kind of unknown whether they'll still go on, but events like that we're talking, and each person then was kind of jumping on that. Well, I'd like to do that too. Well, if you coordinate that, then we'll get more Rotarians from our club. So people were doing that. Another fact that people were discussing is just how to have meetings. So 2 clubs are definitely regularly meeting, and then well, 3 clubs are. So they're into Zoom, they've got that up and running. No talk of really meeting in person, which I think is, you know, okay. One club that really hasn't been meeting and has been kind of up in the air about their future is now ready to get those that are interested in having the district governor visit. So I'm really excited about that because I think that can then bring us together and start talking about more goals and what are the next steps. So that's been kind of the main thing. That's why I would say it's kind of back to the basics of like, what are we doing and where are we going? What would be another area? Also sharing speakers. People are talking now about jumping onto other meetings because you can learn so much from how another person is running their meeting and also how they're utilizing speakers. And so that's some of what we meet the second Monday of every month. And so far that's what people are sharing is community service seems to be key in organizing joint projects, doing some clarification of roles and basic things like how do you become a member and how do we recruit some more people, and then just meeting logistics, helping people get to the meeting if it's Zoom, and if they don't know how to Zoom, helping them. So that's kind of where our 4 clubs are.
Okay, thanks. Hey, so there are some things that I think we could all share with each other, but I want to go to the district chairs first so that they can do their report and we can give them some feedback. And then just to let you know, we need to go a little overtime today to do more discussion on some of the issues that your clubs are having. So for now, though, let's go to the district chairs. And Nalani and Ryan are here. So Nalani, what's going on with membership?
Hi, Naomi. Thank you very much. And first of all, I'd like to apologize for my attire. I had the work crew out today and we just got done, and I got a message saying about the AG meeting. Oh my gosh. So that's the first thing to get off. Right now, ending of September, thank you for the smile. We ended up with 1504, so we're up by 11. For some of the feedback, I was like you, Wes. Usually my membership meeting is before the AG meeting, and this is the week where I didn't have my meeting yet. So the only thing I can think of is on the Big Island, I mentioned to you about getting an e-club together, or a club that to cover the whole island. They're having their first informational meeting next week, so we're really excited about that. We have a handful right now. Connie and Nestor is working on that, and so we're really excited. It's not as big, but then it's a start, and I believe that can have a domino effect as they share with others of informational meeting about starting a new club right there. On the other clubs, I don't have any updates, but since you're going to be talking with the concerns of your clubs, I have not heard from any of your clubs or any of you. If there is a need or anything, as I had mentioned in our last meeting, we are here to help you. So that's it that I can share right now for the district. Doug?
Thanks, Nalani. Yeah, as I haven't seen any, maybe I'm just missing it, but I haven't seen any of the notes associated with or emails associated with standing up the e-club on the Big Island. Does that belong to Alan?
No, it doesn't. This is something separate. This is through the membership committee that is trying to put this club together. And Nestor is covering, I guess, on the west side and Connie on the east side. So what I'll do is, because it's still in the baby stage right now, we probably don't have a lot to share right now, but we just want to get that first meeting off the ground. But what I'll ask them both, Connie, I'll ask Connie if she'll kind of CC you, just to give you a heads up if you'd like to join them.
Thank you, Nalani.
You're welcome.
So that is a good point, Doug, that the AGs need to know what's going on in their area. So Nalani, where are the other places that you guys are working on?
Well, the only other place that I'm aware right now is with Wendy Hornap, but then, like I said, I didn't get a chance to check with them because I was like Wes, thinking that my meeting was coming up on Tuesday and I would have all that current information to pass on Thursday, but I messed up. But I will let you know as soon as I get with Wynn and her on that.
Okay. What about North Shore? Is there something going on for North Shore?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So anybody feedback for Nalani on what kind of help your club members, your presidents need for membership?
As I mentioned, I think before you came on, Nalani, I'm actually pretty happy with our club. Our clubs, they've surprisingly been able to bring folks on, and they seem to be doing well. And the least that they are asking me is just to do the inductions. So pretty happy with that so far.
How's Pahoa doing?
Pahoa is planning on bringing 2 members on, and they're going to get me the dates when I need to go out there and do the induction.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, so AGs, your presidents, what kind of help do they need from the membership committee? Ted?
Okay, I've got Ted and Kathleen.
So I believe, Nalani, you or your committee helped engage with the West Kauai group. They do need, I believe, some support and assistance. And the last I heard, you were trying to connect David Lister to provide them some advice, which is great. And I believe Wynn was having a conversation with PDG Bill Schilling in the Hanalei Club, back to our previous conversation with Greg Horn about the Catch a Wave program. And I would like to get more engaged in that conversation, because I would like to see us try to pull together a new, at least a satellite club that would be more of an e-club or passport club. So if you and Wynn can connect me in with whatever's happening with Bill, I'd be happy to help work on that.
I want to say to all the AGs, I am happy to work with all of you and would love to have you involved. And so since I'm hearing this from all of you, and you would like to be a part of this, I will gladly open it up and get you to be part of this process. Is that what I'm hearing, all of you? Yes?
Well, it's that transparency that the AGs would, and actually it should be the AGs to be more letting you know what they need. And so it's working together and transparency.
I would love that. I would love that. And I would love to work with you. And I am here. So now Ted, you'll be in the loop. And anybody else, you want Doug, anybody else who wants to be, I'm gladly welcome that partnership, shall I say. So yes, Ted.
Kathleen?
Kathleen, yes.
I was thinking it'd be fun to partner with you on just coming to my club and being a speaker. Like,
I would love to.
Could I recommend you as a speaker at our club?
Yes. Yes.
That'd be fun. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? You're making my day. I'm all sweaty over here, but you're making my day.
I've always enjoyed working with Nalani and found her really supportive. And, we've talked about several things and about the possibility of what we might do, for example, on the North Shore. That would not actually be in my area, but how we would grow those things. But I think maybe the most useful thing might be that because all good ideas aren't invented in any particular place. I'd be interested if any club anywhere of any size on any of our islands, neighbor islands or Oahu, comes up with a particularly effective technique when we're in this transition from all virtual to maybe partially virtual. Anybody who's come up with some good techniques to reach out and entertain and interest prospects, that would help me a lot. And that's
Yeah.
going to be dialogue among the clubs.
Exactly. If any of you have friends, business acquaintances in areas, say as an example, Naomi asked about North Shore. You know anybody? You don't have to be in that area, but if you know people, send them my way. And I can have an open conversation with them, an invitation. Like yesterday, we delivered our we got that grant shared with the Makaha Clubhouse. So we delivered over $700 worth of stuff over there. And while I was there and I was checking it out, and I asked the person there, how many vendors do you have in this CarNet store? Oh, there's quite a few. And these two guys says, may I use your space to share information about Rotary? And can you invite all your neighbors to come? And she looked at me like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Yes. And as one of her employees was talking and said, oh yeah, I'm doing social media. And went bing, social media. And I said, would you like to join my meeting? We certainly could use somebody with your talents on the Waianae side. And his mother happens to be a Rotarian, not as active. So I have somebody that I would love to engage, and young, and the invitation went out, and he said, I'll be happy to help you set this up, your informational meeting. I said, you got a big room right here. We can certainly invite all your neighbors. I'll bring cookie and stuff. So anyway, any one of you have friends and stuff, send them my way.
Well, okay, so it's membership is all of our jobs. Okay, it's not just Nalani's. Okay, so we all need to be mindful of how we can help our presidents with membership, getting new members, retaining members, and really engaging our members. So if you all can help your presidents with membership, and even forming new clubs, that's not the membership committee's only job. It's all of ours. So if you find that you can do a satellite club or a new club in your area, in where your presidents are, you know, it's our jobs too. So it's all of us that need to be mindful of membership and how we can help our presidents. Okay, Wes, you wanted to say something? No? Okay. Okay, anything else for Nalani? Okay.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to sign off, Naomi. I'm sorry. You know, I feel so dirty over here, but you know, thank you, Sonia, for reminding me, and I apologize, but have a wonderful meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, bye now.
Okay, she signed off. Ryan.
Hey, good evening, everyone. There's a lot to report for me that's going on, so hopefully everyone here can help out in their ways in promoting this information to the clubs in each area. The Youth Service Committee has been busy with a couple of kind of new programs. We just held our first college and career readiness webinar series this past weekend on the 10th. Had a smaller turnout than I had hoped for, but still a good one. The webinar went out to almost every high school in the state, and we got a good kind of geographical distribution of members, but not a ton of attendees from, you know, what would have been previously active Interact clubs. And so I'm hoping that you all can reach out to your club presidents and spread the word for the next series, which is going to be on October 31st, Halloween. We're going to be presenting about scholarships and financial aid in the FAFSA. This past one was a presentation more on the comment application, but we have a great speaker. We have a speaker from Gary Picaro and connection from him, and it's the associate director at Pacific University in Oregon. So she's a great speaker. I've heard great things from the Interact Club members that attended from my club, and they really enjoyed it and are planning on inviting their friends to the next ones. And so hope you guys can help me promote that, and we'll probably look to be doing a webinar every month from here till the end of the school year for that. With RILA, what I can report is that they're going virtual. I'm sure hopefully many of you are aware of that. Each island is going to have their own events and community service projects tied to the event, but for a majority of the shared, for a lot of the training, it's going to be a shared kind of series where they do it virtually, and they're looking for a third-party kind of technology platform to help them run that program, and that's looking like it's going to be sometime in February. So RILA is coming up. I'll just report quickly on HRYF. The applications are going out to college counselors and hitting the streets on November 1st. So please notify your clubs and youth. And that's something that, they have basically a few months to apply. The application will be due in February, and each club will do their interviews sometime in February. In general, our Interact clubs are not very active right now. The DOE is different sets of criteria for each school, and the principals are really kind of determining what's happening. And so clubs aren't super active. So that's why I think Wes is really trying to get this community Interact club started. Hopefully, Wes, you and I can work on that through our partnership here and maybe publicize that more in various college prep programs that you're doing and that we're doing. And so we're excited about that. And just, we're kind of looking to the future here. Our district conference in 21, starting to kick off some of those planning meetings and trying to figure out how to maybe do a youth conference at the same time, or at least invite them to our district conference there. So I don't know if there's anything else. Naomi, Rotaract is meeting as well. Just had a monthly meeting with them, and they're trying to find ways to increase membership and do projects as well. And so hopefully we'll see if they can join us on any of these tree planting things or not. But in general, it's been a hard time with youth. I think they're all really struggling with doing their schoolwork remotely and not being around their friends as often. And so the community service component and the service component in general is kind of fell to the wayside, but we will continue to push.
Okay. That session that you had for the Common App, that was kind of interesting, of the cross-section of kids that we had. So we had a couple from Kapa'a that were on the Zoom, from McKinley, Roosevelt. There was one from IAEA West that went to that thing. And so we have people from all over. And so hopefully your presidents can be working with the youth service chairs to get the word out, because really it's that connection with the school advisor that we can get the information to the students. So the one coming up on the 31st is on financial aid and scholarships. So we really want to have more people, more of the kids coming to that one. So thanks, Ryan, for your hard work on the Interact Rotaract. Rotaract is coming together with a committee, district committee of Rotarians and Rotaractors on that council. And we elected a Rotaract district representative, and that's Ernesto Arizala from the Rotary Club of Honolulu, sponsored by the Honolulu Club. And so he's reaching out to the other Rotaract clubs around the state. So hopefully we can help them with mentor program, because they right now have a mentorship program where the students at HPU are partnered with Rotarian, and they're getting some career guidance. And so that is coming along really well. And Ernesto opened that up to all of the other Rotaractors as well. So if you have a Rotaract club and your club can help with the mentorship program, we could really use some help.
So, yeah, those that, and then, thanks, Naomi. I just want to maybe end on a positive note too is, you know, I think the clubs are meeting the Interact clubs are meeting as much as our advisors and our Rotarian advisors are active with them. And so I just had a big meeting with the Roosevelt Interact Club yesterday, and they have about 20 members, which is the most they've had in a long time. And several freshmen, a lot of juniors. They blasted it out through their school's community Google Classroom page. They advertised, they created a video, they did all sorts of great things, even remotely. And so that's been good. And I hope that folks can create that kind of relationship with their Interact Club. And then we did a drive-up donation for RISE this past October 3rd or September something. And Mid-Pacific's Interact Club came out in force. About 15 families came and donated stuff in a drive-up type of scenario. So they drove up to the Pacific Club. They dropped off their donations for youth shelter, the youth shelter at RISE, and they drove away. And that was a socially distant, successful project that they were able to participate in. So there are ways to do service, and so we need to find the ways to do it and get on board.
Mm-hmm. You know that organization RISE, there's several of the Rotary clubs that are doing projects there. And I think that might be a good one for the district conference to do some videos on what you guys are doing. So Metro has a big project there, don't they, Mark? That they're going to do some construction and some training. Diamond Head does something for RISE too. So, you know, that might be a good one to feature at the district conference because so many of the clubs are involved with that. So
yeah.
Save your pictures, Ryan.
Will do. I'm sure, yeah, they would be very happy to be featured.
Okay. So yes, Mariko.
Yes. Just want to ask about the cost for the RILA, because some of our clubs have set aside the funding through the DDF for the RILA, and they would like to use that money if the cost for RILA is going to be minimum. But they're waiting, you know, how much we still need to contribute. So can you just, do you already know how much each club is expected to contribute, or when would we know?
Okay, so the RFP is due today or tomorrow, and so we'll know what they're proposing for the cost. But Tim Hansen just came out with an estimate of $100, $125 per student. And because it's virtual, you might be able to get more kids, but I think they're estimating about 200 on that virtual RILA. So yeah, don't use all of your grant money, because there is going to be a cost depending on who's selected. So it could be Leadership Hawai'i, or so, there were 3 companies that were bidding for this contract.
Yeah,
so we should know soon.
Yeah, so it sounds like before it was like 250, but now, Naomi, the best estimate from the committee is about 125 a person.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Thanks, Brian.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Sorry, I gotta jump off too, so I gotta give my kid a bath.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what happens when you have a new baby.
I know.
Okay, so you know, some of the clubs are saying that they don't see the AGs. So can we ask that you visit the clubs as well? So visit them. If you can make it once a month, that'd be great. But the minimum is once a quarter to visit the clubs in your area. So AGs, please make that extra step to go to the club meetings. And it's easier now with Zoom, right? And some of these Zoom speakers are awesome. Okay, so can you guys try? Yeah, okay. Yes, Doug? No.
That is not a problem in East Hawaii. They are tired of seeing me.
Okay. Okay.
Nah, we like you, Doug.
Yeah, it's Benson.
They're tired of seeing me. That's you they like. You're like, oh man, not that guy.
Yeah, but I've heard that from clubs. We don't see our AG, so can you kind of help that along? Because you guys, by the way, as AGs, you are the district. Okay, so when you hear people saying the district, that's all of you guys. Okay, you are the district. Okay, so visit your clubs. So, you know, when you're visiting the clubs, try and look out for future leaders, ones that can help on the district committees. Maybe we have the district governor application process going on right now. The due date is November 2nd. So you've got people in your clubs that you think should apply. Please encourage your president to talk to them and put in their application. Okay, so November 7th is when we're having the interviews. It might be virtual, it might be in person, but please help us get more on the district level onto the committees, because you know the committees need to reach out to all of you, to all of the islands, and it's not, you know, the comment about being Oahu centric is because we have people who volunteer on Oahu, but we need people on the neighbor islands as well. So please encourage. If you're seeing leaders, if you can develop leaders, ask them if they could step up to help on the district level. Okay, some of the presidents are not getting the information down to their clubs. So, you know, when you hear things at our meetings about webinars or things that are coming up, please, maybe you need to guide the presidents on what they need to relate to their club members, so they know about World Polio Day, they know about foundation, they know about the district auction. So please, you might need to guide them on what they need to announce to their clubs and put into the newsletters. Okay, so the auction, hopefully we'll get it launched tomorrow, but this afternoon, Mayor Bajir still had 100 items more to post to the auction. So thank you, Mariko, for getting Liz May to help us with posting some of the items onto the auction. But the auction is the 16th to the 26th, and we can still take more stuff. We can add on more stuff as we go along. So as you talk to the presidents, if they've got more things to add on, please encourage them to send it on, because we're still open to take on more stuff. So I think she's got about 100, 150 items posted, and there's another 100 to go on today. So that auction is helping your clubs raise some money. So hopefully that'll be successful for them. Okay. Attending webinars, if you can help the clubs, the presidents kind of identify which webinars they really need to be at, or they need to get the word out to their boards on which ones they really need to be there. And if you guys can attend as well, so that you can keep up with some of the new things. So this Saturday is the grant management. Okay, so grant management, how many people per club? Okay, 2 minimum, okay, but we're finding that the PE goes and somebody else goes, and whoever's doing the grant doesn't really understand what they're supposed to do with the grant management. So please encourage them, whoever touches those grants that has to do the report, has to take care of the accounting, they can go as well to these the training. Okay, but this is the one you have to have the 2 people to qualify. So please touch base with your presidents that they are going to get their PE and another person, 2 people per club to go to this training. Okay, and then that's the grant training. Oh, you know, for all of your projects, you guys know what the projects are. Can you remind the presidents to post to the service activities on Rotary Club Central that project, so they can put in what the project is, the description, how many hours, the dollar amounts, and then close it out as achieved when they've done it. So we need all of their projects onto Rotary Club Central in the service activities section. Okay, because if on Rotary Club Central, if they said that they were going to do 10, unless they put it into the service activities section, that 10 is not going to show up. Okay, so as you go along, ask them to please keep up with posting it to Rotary Club Central. Okay, and then the service above self nomination is due this month. So do you have any person in your clubs that has done humanitarian projects? There's only one nomination that we can send to Rotary International, and this is an international competition, yeah? So they're competing with people from all over the world. If you have anybody who qualifies for this, the form to nominate that person is on the district website in the awards and recognition tab. Fill that out, or ask your president to fill that out and send that in like within the next 2 days. Okay, does anybody have somebody like that that does humanitarian service? Hands-on, not just giving money? Ted, you guys do so many projects on Kauai, humanitarian projects. Anybody you can think of?
I'll give it some thought.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so that nomination is due really quick. So, okay, the zone is coming up with a suggestion on doing a project throughout the states. It's called a Rotary Gratefulness Week, November 16th to the 22nd. And so let me share my screen. And I wanted to show you what this flyer. Okay, so they're asking us if we can do a project, and these are some suggestions: do a vehicle parade to pass by a business location, a hospital, first responders, police department, to do a sign waving to thank them. Another one is to provide meals for the late shift, hand out gift cards, PPEs, masks, do appreciation cards, do an ad in the paper, thank you cards. So do you think that we could do this on every island? I think Maui stepped up to do something for that with Kihei Wailea. They wanted to do something. So what do you guys think about some of these ideas? You think we can get the clubs to do it? This is the week of November 16th to the 22nd, Rotary Gratefulness Week.
Well, we already have a couple clubs that are already doing some of those things now.
Okay. So can we kind of spread it out so some of the other clubs can join in or do their own thing?
Naomi, would that be in replacing Rotary Gives Thanks?
No, it's
Nope.
in addition.
In addition.
So it could be a simple thing where you get your interactors to do the thank you cards, like Hawaii Baptist Academy. That's what the interactors did. They wrote thank you cards and they sent it to Queens Hospital for the workers. So it could be just a simple thing like that, on just a thank you note from your club, and send it to the fire station, drive by with a thank you parade. So if you can ask your clubs if they want to do something like that during that week, and then let me know what you came up with. So if we can all do that on different spots on the islands, purely voluntary. But it's kind of like Rotary Gives Thanks, right? So we're thanking the community. So I'll send you this flyer if you want to talk to your club presidents about that. Okay, Benson, what's up with training?
Yeah. Okay. And I know it's getting kind of late over here. People are starting to drop off. So let me just kind of go through this quickly, and I'll follow up. And the stuff that I'm going to cover right now, I'll send it to you in an email. So just real quickly. So a couple things is that Gwen Picaro, who is actually the head of Morgan Stanley in Hawaii, their company paid a huge amount of money to have this Zoom guy come and give them some advanced Zoom training. And so she did some R&D, which is, rip off and duplicate. And so she said, I got all the guys' material, and I'm willing to present it to anybody in the district who wants to learn to do Zoom better. So that's going to be on the 28th of October. And I'll send you the Zoom link for that. So if any of your clubs, your presidents, president-elects, whoever, want to get advanced training, it's going to be 7 o'clock on the 28th. We'll send you the Zoom link. Okay, the president-elects, this is the key thing now. These guys are coming on board now. Every president-elect should be there at the grant qualification workshop this weekend. We've already set pre-pets aside. Sandy's working on getting all that together February 20th, and then our pets is going to be March 5th through 7th, which is going to be virtual. And after that time, we're going to try to coordinate that transitional period, which should start around April 1st, where we start to work the new president in, and of course not let the old president slide, but you know, keep it all working together. So the key transition within the club, besides you guys, you know, helping to get the president-elect going, is the president-elect, obviously, the president, and then the club trainer. And I'm going to go over that with those guys on Monday. So Monday's club trainer. And Monday, we're going to go over, thanks to Naomi, she put together what Jimmy, Susan, and my club would call the training library. So if you go to our website, now there's a little box that says training library. And if you click on that, it's basically a collection of anything you ever wanted to know about Rotary is on there. It's basically a collection of recordings of meetings that we've already done. Last weekend I did a strategic planning session with Honolulu Sunset Club, and you know, Honolulu Sunset Club is a very diverse club, a lot of big hitters in there. And so if some of your clubs are struggling or don't know how to do a strategic planning session, Naomi has offered to pimp me out to go into these clubs and to work with them into developing the plan. And what I want to tell you is this, and this is what we found out in the Waikiki Sunset session, which actually I got to hand it to those guys. They were willing to come 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon to get this thing done. And it's not so much really the visioning, the mission, the goals, all that. They can whip that all out. In fact, they had already done it years ago and just kind of updated. The issue that they were struggling with is that how to make it relevant and then how to monitor it so that all the stuff they put in the plan actually happens. And so what I tried to help them to do was to teach them how to utilize their board to monitor the strategic plan every month when they get the board meets. And that's another phenomena that we see in some of the district now, is that if the club doesn't meet, sometimes the board isn't meeting regularly. So remind your presidents the board has to meet because they're the ones that are in charge of the club. Okay, so I can help with that if they need help with that strategic planning and visioning. Also, I can also do speaking on a variety of topics too. And so I told Naomi that if you go down through all your speakers that you want and you get down to this desperation list, then put me on that, and then you can call me, and then I'll come and help, because one of the things we're trying to do, and when we got together with the zone district trainers yesterday, Sandy and I were on that meeting, when we got on our little breakup group, you know, I said, you know, in our district, we believe that an informed and educated Rotarian is an engaged Rotarian. And everybody looked at me like we just, you know, invented whipped cream or something. I said, you know, that would be something like really obvious, right? And so our whole thing is want to try to get everybody, and we'll circle back to that again, is to take that Rotary Basics training. It's a 15-minute online course. We're trying to get 100% of our district to do it. And some clubs are very, very dedicated to wanting to complete that. All right, I'm gonna send some more of this stuff out, but get focused on the PEs. There are a lot of clubs out there. I think half the clubs don't have a PE yet. And so if they need help in that process, you know, get them to me. I'll contact them and help them to work through that, so that we're hoping that we can have every club have a PE before the end of the year, so that we roll into pre-pets and we're all set and ready to go. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of stop there because, you know, as you know, I can get going, start rambling. So it's too late to ramble today. So I'm going to turn it back over to Naomi. Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, so when you talk to your presidents, can you work with them on getting their slate of officers up for December? So December is when every club should have their annual meeting. They're going to vote on their slate of officers for July. So slate of officers includes a president-elect, right? And so that president-elect will take office in 18 months. So please talk to your presidents, kind of brainstorm if they're having some issues on getting people to step up to find a president-elect and help them with this process. So in January, we'd like to see the slate of officers up on the district website. And the reason why is we want to, so Sandy has spring training assembly and Benson in the spring, and that's the training for the incoming board. And so if we know who their foundation chair, membership chair, and their board members are, then we can send them an invite to go to the session that they're going to get their training on. So would like all of the board members to get trained at the spring training so that come July 1st, they're all ready to go. And they've done their budget, they've done their calendar, they know what projects they're going to do, their community service people. So you guys know the drill, but please help your presidents with getting their boards set. And you know, it's the strong board that's going to help that president and run the club. So it's not the president making all the decisions for the club, it's the board. And so we really want to help them with that process. Okay, so include your PE. So you guys are going to be key on getting that transition going with the president-elects and getting them all trained and ready to go. Okay, so let's see, Sadie.
Benson, I just want you to know that I picked up on the anti-Sandy, and I am good with the anti part of that. But anyway, I have not rolled this out with because we are living in this really unstable pandemic environment. But if all things go well, and if travel inter-island is safe enough, it is our hope that we might be able to hold our pets for District 5000 on one of the islands here. We're not going to roll that out until the COVID conditions lighten up, okay, a bit. So we're not ready to roll that out yet. But just in case you hear clubs saying, oh, we're going to save all of this pets money because it's going virtual, hold on. Because we don't want them to totally miss that whole pets experience. We'll still enjoy the Far West pets. They're going virtual, but maybe we can all come together and enjoy the virtual curriculum, but still have our team building and still have our, you know, the orientations that we need to among the district. So that's the plan. We're looking at hotels now. We're looking at going to, it'll be on one of the items. That's what islands, that's what we're hoping for. So keep your fingers crossed and let's push this pandemic out of here. Okay, thank you.
Sandy, are you going to be meeting with the AG groups before pre-pets?
Yes, plan to do that as soon as, right now, things are still, a lot of things are up in the air with this virtual transition going on. So Benson and I are starting to work on that. As soon as we have a little bit more information on the clarity of it, we'll be sharing that with you as well. And then we'll be bringing on next year AGs to start working on this and prepping for our, actually for the next year, we need to start already. Yeah, by the end of this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I think everybody wants a heads up on what's going to happen. And so for the PEs are going to start their training like in November, December with the webinars.
We're hoping, yes, we will start some trainings in November. If you guys remember last year, PETS started the trainings the second week in November. It does not look like PETS is going to be ready to offer that training in November, but Benson and I will work on some introductory things for the incoming PEs that we have on board, and of course, including you folks as well. Yeah, we're just kind of rolling with the flow right now until some information becomes a little bit more definitive. So bear with us as we go through this transition.
Okay. Okay, so it's already 6:30 and I wanted to go over some of the issues that you guys have been bringing up so we can kind of share some ideas. So anything burning right now that your presidents need help on? So we're all good? Doug? Doug.
Yeah, I know. I'm always the, well, I think we've been working it, right? I think the fundraising piece was something that presidents were talking about, at least here. And I think the idea of doing this district-wide fundraising is going to be really helpful. And then figuring out the, you know, we clearly have a strong membership team, and so helping the clubs with that. And then I guess the other thing is making sure, and I haven't actually seen much on this, is the variety of speakers that are out there, particularly as all these clubs are doing these Zoom kind of programs, still having the opportunity perhaps for folks to be able to connect with those kinds of, you know, knowing in advance if it's possible, so that some of the other club members can join in. I haven't seen that that's actually necessarily been available yet.
Okay. So if they have someone to share, okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so on the district website, on the bottom, we have Zooming with speakers. So here, if they have someone to share, we can list it here. So here's Upcountry, and we didn't put the time that they're meeting, but these are the dates with the speakers. So we can add this on. So these are the ones that I got information on. Okay, and then up here, when you go our clubs, online meetings, so it has when they're meeting. So if you go to, okay, so these are the fundraisers, yeah, that are going on with the flyers. But this online meeting, there's a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet goes by day and what time. So here you see we have, this is Mondays, who meets on Monday, and their IDs or how you get to their meetings. So if you want to see when they're meeting, this is the list. Okay, and then if you want the speakers, then just encourage them to send me the information, and then we'll put it on the website. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
I wanted to ask Benson, that sounded pretty interesting as far as the Zoom training that you were thinking about doing on the 28th. What was the, what club was it that you said that paid pretty big money for the Zoom training that they got?
Oh, no, it was actually, you know, Gwen Picaro's company is Morgan Stanley.
Oh, okay.
And Morgan Stanley paid the money. And so she just called me and said, hey, you know, we just paid a boatload of money for this guy. So I told her, hey, you know, R&D, babe, you know, rip off and duplicate, and we can use it for Rotary. And she said, right on. So she collected all the material, and so she's gonna present it. So I, you know, I told her to send me sort of a brief description so that I can send it out to everybody, so that everybody, you know, can kind of get an idea. But it's kind of like second and third tier, you know, beyond knowing all the buttons on the bottom, stuff that you can do, you know, overlays, you know, how to make a hat on yourself. I don't know.
Right. Well, yeah, I wanted to get that out to my presidents too, because I was going to try to maybe have a president meeting right before that.
Okay.
Were you going to maybe send details out in the next day or two? Or
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock, Wednesday the 28th.
Okay.
So I think we're going to do it, Naomi, we're going to do it on the district Zoom. So I'll coordinate with her, and I'll send it out. I'll send that link out to everybody. So we were just going to do it for the presidents, but we've been getting so much input on, like, hey man, help us on this Zoom thing, that we decided let's just open it up to everybody. You know, everybody who's running a Zoom, because a lot of clubs have a Zoom team, not just the president. President actually just the one that run the meeting, but behind the scenes, somebody's, you know, running all the Zoom stuff. So it's kind of revenge of the nerds, right? So they come back and they get to help us out. So
Cool. Thank you.
okay, man. I'll get as soon as we get that link, I'll send it out to everybody, like ASAP. Okay.
Anything else?
Okay.
We're all good?
Yeah. Hey, Naomi, that spreadsheet was really impressive. What it told me is that you have a lot of time on your hands. So, I mean, wow. How about all that detail? So, okay. Hey, man, big hand for Naomi. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, gang.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.